So today's session is all about activities and visits, as we're calling them. Our activities and visits option are an upgrade to our tasks and appointments option. So currently, and let me go ahead and pause my screen, sorry, my camera there. So our current tasks and appointments option is being upgraded to cover off what we are going to begin, what we are now calling activities and visits. And so today's session is going over the differences, basically going over the new features, what our tasks module currently looks like, and how that's going to change into our activities module. And then again, how our appointments module currently looks, and the upgrades and the additional features and functionality that are going to be available in our visits module. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to pose those questions throughout the session. And what I will do is I will keep an eye on those questions, and I will endeavor to answer as many of those if I have any near the end of the session. Fingers crossed, if I do my job correctly, then you may not even have any questions as well. So if you don't, amazing. If you do, please don't hesitate to reach out. Please don't hesitate to ask those questions. If you have any, we would love to help in any way we can. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and open up a job on an existing system that I have access to that covers off the idea of tasks. So we're going to start in the tasks area. I've got a little split screen system going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to basically quickly go over what a task on the current system looks like and do a little bit of a comparison to what our new activities module looks like. I think the first thing that I'd love to mention is that this is an upgrade from tasks to activities. But what this doesn't mean is this doesn't mean that other areas of the software are changing. This is a change to specifically the tasks area. So the first thing that you'll notice is that our tasks button, which is contained here at the top of the screen, or the top of the screen of the jobs area, will now be renamed to an activities button as well. Sorry, instead. Something else that I know that a lot of our customers mentioned, and I'm sure that you will have noticed as well about our current tasks option, is that our tasks option has a limit when it comes to results. So what that means is that right now, when you complete a task as a technician in the field, or for that matter, anybody, what you have is you have a limit when it comes to the result option. And so you can choose either passed, failed, or NA. Those are the only three options that are available when it comes to results. However, of course, with our subtasks, you have the ability to be able to go ahead and create subtasks and have customizable results. So this is the first piece of feedback that we got from our customers, and that is that they love the idea of the task subtask model, but what they specifically were looking for was that they were specifically looking for the ability to be able to have customizable results at an activity level. And so what we've done with our activities module, let me go ahead and expand out my screen here, is that we've specifically touched on that particular area of our task component as a significant opportunity for an upgrade. So if I go ahead and I add a brand new activity to my job here, let me go ahead and let me find one here in my list, and I'll click on the continue button, complete that activity against a particular site. Click on the create button. You'll notice that I can go ahead and I can now actually complete an activity at a job level. The thing you'll also notice as well is that you'll also notice that I have the ability to be able to customize that result. So whereas before there was only a complete, incomplete, sorry, my apologies, a pass, fail, NA option. What I have now is I now have the ability to be able to create activities and have customizable results. So in this particular case, what I've got here is I've got a particular activity that I've added to this particular job, and that activity itself has simply a nicely uses simple pass, complete, incomplete option. In addition, what I can do also is I can go ahead and I can actually pop in things like text results. So for instance, I could just simply put in a result option as a text field. And if I go ahead and I pop that in, then that'll go ahead and that'll actually give me the ability to be able to pop that in. In this particular case, I have a comment that comes default with the activity itself. And I have additionally a comment field that I can go ahead and I can fill in a test comment in there as well. And I have the ability to go ahead and upload a photograph as an attachment to the actual activity itself. So a key first takeaway here is that tasks and subtasks, so tasks, I should say, had a limited result option of passed, failed, or NA. In our brand new activities world, you have the ability to be able to go ahead and actually have customizable results. In this particular case, a complete, incomplete option. I'll go ahead and I'll add in an additional activity here. Let's go ahead and pop one of these ones in here. My pump submersible. Again, I'll choose the location in question and click on the create activity option. And what you'll additionally notice in this particular case is that I now have an additional customizable result option. In this case, some voltage option. So I'll go ahead and choose the 32 volt result. But again, the key takeaway here is that I have the ability to be able to go ahead and customize those results, which is a huge leap forward in our activities, or as we call them in our current system, our tasks module as well. Now, this doesn't shy away or remove any functionality at a subtask or sub-activity levels, as we're calling them. So at a sub-activity level, I can continue to create those customizable results if I want to. So you'll notice some sub-activities here. I've just created them as a yes or no option. Again, I could have put in some custom results in there as well. Of course, that is, all very much part and parcel and very standard for the software itself, and that is a piece of functionality that continues to be available at a sub-activity level. But the beauty here is that because that customizable result option is now available at a task or activity levels, we're calling them, that ultimately means that you can now go ahead and create activities that might only require one line. You're not locked into having subtasks or sub activities, as we call them, to get that customizable result option. So I suppose that's the first big, massive takeaway here. We also had a lot of feedback from our customers that basically said that what they were looking for was that they were looking for more information on a task level, or as we're now calling it, an activity level on this screen here. And so what we've done is that we've gone ahead and we've increased that amount of information. So one of the things that you'll notice now is that you'll notice that there's additional information on the screen here. So I have the ability to be able to go ahead and see things like the reference number for that particular activity, the quantity, some pricing information if that's relevant for your particular activities, and some additional clickable options around things like the sub-activities, as well as the ability to be able to go ahead and leave a comment or an attachment as well. In addition, not only do we have an expanded view, which is what this is now called, but we also have a limited view or a contract or a minimized view. If I go ahead and I click on the minimize button there, what you'll notice is that overall view does get a little bit smaller. And that means that I have two layouts or two versions that I can look at from a viewing perspective. So what it also means is that the activities module that we're now offering with the software is a significant leap forward for the Loc8 software. What we've tried to do is that we've tried to really listen to customer feedback and really sort of add in functionalities and features and functionality that are very much based around feedback from our direct customers as well. So to sort of wrap things up in that particular area, key takeaways are that what we've done is that we've increased and moved away from that locked-in result option of pass, fail, NA to the customizable result options that we offer at a subtask level. And we've got some additional information that is available on the screen there as well. These are all new pieces of functionality that are available with the with our activities module. Some things don't change. You still have the ability to be able to go ahead and add in comments to an activity, attachments, pictures, PDFs, that sort of stuff. You still have the ability to be able to go ahead and do things like reset the result and bits and pieces like that that were available previously as well. But that's our tasks to activities module upgrade. Moving along to the appointments upgrade. So on our current Loc8 software, what we have is that we have the ability to be able to leave an appointment or to apply an appointment to a particular job. So doing that was, of course, was very, very easy. I go ahead and I choose an appointment for today, for instance. Let's say, from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock this afternoon. I can go ahead and click on that and select that and set that appointment for that particular job. One of the pieces of feedback that we got from our customers was that the appointment option was fantastic and they used it in a lot of cases, but there was a significant limitation with it, and that was that you could only ever assign a single appointment to a job. And so for a job that took only a day's worth of work or a couple of hours worth of work to complete, that was perfectly fine. But when you had a job where there was multiple days worth of work, let's say a job that was going to take, say, 2 or 3 or more days worth of work, what you found was that you then had to create an appointment that started on day 1, say Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, and finished on day 2 or 3 at, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So what that meant was that you had one very, very long appointment. What it meant that the relationship between appointments and jobs, that one-to-one relationship, in other words, you could only ever have a single appointment per job, and you had to finish that appointment before you could go ahead and create more appointments. That meant that you were very much locked into having one blob, if you will, of information with regards to an appointment on a job basis. So what we've done is that we've specifically responded to that piece of feedback and that piece of information from our customers. And what we've done with our new visits module is that we've applied a bunch of additional pieces of functionality that are very much around responding to that piece of feedback. The first thing is that we now have the ability to be able to go ahead and add in multiple visits, multiple visits per job. So let me go over how the visits area looks, and then let's touch on how it works and behaves. The first things first, you'll notice that we now have a visits button in the actual job itself. So if I go ahead and I open up a particular job, you'll notice there's a visits button here at the top of the screen. And that gives you the ability to be able to go ahead and add or create a visit on the job itself. We also have a visits section as well in that job to be able to go ahead and show you any previous or upcoming visits that are applicable to this particular job. So if I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to add a visit to a job, really, really easy. I simply need to go ahead and press on my visits button, choose the start time for that visit. This is very much obviously like the appointment creation process. So let's say we go ahead and choose today. And again, we'll choose a visit from starting at 1 o'clock and finishing up at, say, 5 o'clock this evening as well. We'll click on select. I can pop in a description and a location note. And something you'll notice here is the assignees section. And that assignee section is pre-filled with the assigned technician to the job. So if you've already assigned a technician or a contractor to the job, the person who's assigned to this particular a visit will automatically be the assigned technician or the assigned contractor on the job itself. And then I'll click on schedule. And you'll notice that visit is now created and assigned and applied to this particular job. In addition, I can go ahead and, as I said before, I can go ahead and create multiple visits. So let's say we need to create a visit for tomorrow between, for instance, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, finishing up at 5 o'clock in the evening. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assign a different technician to this particular job itself. So we'll go ahead and we'll assign a different technician and we'll click on done. Now that means I've got now 2 technicians or 2 contractors that are assigned to this particular visit. When I click on schedule, and I close that, you'll notice that there's a second visit there. What you'll also notice is that that additional technician or that additional contractor is assigned to that particular visit. Logistically, from a mobile application perspective, so from a mobile perspective, what that also means is that I now have an additional technician, the extra person who needs to help with this particular job. Well, that person can now see this job on the mobile application as well. So that's another additional feature that's available with our visits option, and that is that you have the ability to not only assign the already assigned technician or contractor to the visit, but you also have the ability to be able to go ahead and assign additional contractors or additional technicians to these visits. This was another piece of feedback that we got from our customers, and that is that in the real world for them, what they were doing was that they were creating not only multiple visits per job, but some visits involved the assigned technician or the assigned contractor, and some visits involved another assigned person, another person who needed to be allocated to this particular job as well. So we've allowed for that as well. So that's the visits module. The visits module is an upgrade from our appointments module. It's a direct result and a direct response to the feedback that our customers provided to us about the fact that whilst the appointment option in the jobs area was a great piece of functionality and they loved it, one of the things that they noticed with it was that they didn't have the ability to be able to go ahead and actually allocate additional or multiple visits on a per job basis. There was a one-to-one relationship between appointments and the actual job itself. So all that you could do is go ahead and assign just one appointment per job, and you needed to complete or close that appointment first before you could go ahead and assign an additional appointment to that particular job. And so we responded to that through our visits area and the functionality that we've added into our visits area as well. So as a bit of a quick wrap up here before we dive into any questions, if there are any, and that is, this session is all about our brand new tasks to activities module upgrade, and about our appointments to visits upgrade. And so what you'll notice is that while the tasks tab is in the same spot, it's just renamed to being our activities tab. And additionally, our appointments option, which is at the top of the job screen in our current system, will now get replaced with a visits button at the top of the screen there as well, and a visits section so that you can go ahead and manage those visits as well. One extra thing I'd love to go over on this session, and again, as I mentioned before, I'd love to answer any questions that you have if there are any, and that is that if you want to go ahead and create activities, it's as easy as it always was. You simply need to click on the settings button and then the new activity library section. It should be noted that if you have access to this on your current Loc8 system, then what you have is the ability to be able to go ahead and continue to make those changes. So in the activity library area, I'll go ahead, I'll click on the add item button, I should say, sorry. And I might pop in a name, say test activity. I'll pop in that into the long form description area as well. I'll go ahead and I'll apply a very simple complete incomplete result type. And we'll say that the reference number is 987GH. Before I go ahead and click on the create button here on the bottom right-hand corner, a couple of things to just be aware of and to note, and that is that I do have a locked button there. If I go ahead and I press on that lock button, what that will do is that will prevent changes to all the areas with padlocks when this activity is added to a job itself. So that's a really, really handy feature to ensure that the activity that's created here is added and not changed at a job level if you want to do that. In addition, you have the ability to be able to either force or recommend things like comments, so make them recommended or required, as well as attachments on, I should have said, my apologies, force on activities, or force, recommend, or require attachments on activities as well. So those are some additional features that are available there as well. So if I throw the lock button there and I click on the create activity button, that'll go ahead and that'll pop in that activity into the activity library. But other than that, that is pretty much the sum and substance of the tasks to activities upgrade and the appointments to visits upgrade that we're going to be making available here in the next couple of months to all of our customer base. So let me go ahead and delve in here and see if there's any questions that we have. If there are not, I appreciate that people take time out of their day to go ahead and actually join the session, so I won't make it too long here. I think that we are good with questions, which is fantastic. That's a great result. So if you have any more questions post this meeting, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to get in touch with us. As I mentioned at the beginning, that is available through our help.loc8.com site. So help.loc8.com. And in addition, that is also we also have an in-app chat option, which gives you the ability to get in touch with us and have a conversation with one of our support team. As I mentioned before, it's available under the help and news section, and then either the send us a message button or the messages button as well. And absolutely, we would love to help in any way we can with regards to the Loc8 software. But that is my presentation. Again, as I mentioned before, if you have any questions, if you need any help, if we can help in any way, shape, or form, don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to do that in any way we can. Thank you so much, everybody, for spending the time with us today. And I will look forward to speaking with all of you in the future. Thanks so much, and take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.